how to engage with people in head office. Well, that's an interesting one.
And Matthew and Mary, I asked them some presentation skill, negotiation skill,
Right.
that kind of ladders.
Right.
They can do it.
Mm.
But they cannot teach Japanese spirit. Matthew interesting, but he cannot teach them.
Right. I think you should do it. I think
And I
Japanese
tell you,
experience from a Japanese person is much more persuasive than from a Westerner.
2 days ago, I met with a former diet member, my friend, and I explained what did past 2 years. He's very much interested in Japanese spirit, Japanese identity,
Right.
and he's going to do something for me,
Hmm.
or I'm going to do something for him.
Right.
So the things.
Right. I will keep my eyes open. Maybe actually even within EY there is an opportunity.
Yeah.
I told you I met with the head of ACC. ACC is advisory. Is consulting. He's actually he's an Australian. I think. Yeah, Australian.
Australia.
Yeah.
Who's he?
Oh, he's what's his name? He's Australian. He's a partner. He came from Australia. Now he heads the advisory department. I met with him when I had my first interview with him.
Okay. So. Okay, let's continue. So this is my training program, but I'm going on.
Right. Right. Well, I think that there's nothing wrong with liberal arts, and it's necessary. You asked me a question actually before that. You asked me a question. So, are there any programs like this in Europe? And I must admit that I don't think that there are many programs like this. But actually, this is something we learn in school. We learn this in school. So liberal arts, things like that, that's part of our history education. That's part of our the education that we receive in school. So
yeah, Mr. Kamiya's school is like this, very similar to the ordinary school, university, like a democracy, teaching democracy. This is normal course. They're going to pick it up as a main course. This is I can teach democracy.
Right.
Global democracy. But this is just only the education for type of common sense, right?
Right.
Not disadvantage, something like that.
It's education for common sense. That's right. But common sense is very culturally biased, don't you think? Right, so that's the problem. Like common sense in Japan is the kuki yomeru, but it's only understanding the cultural context of Japan, not the cultural context outside of Japan.
That's right. That's right. English common sense.
Right.
So this is all my currently concern. When I'm teaching for Japanese, very difficult to teach Japanese spirits of Japan. Many companies are not interested in getting my
Who am I?
Right?
Actually, it's very essential. It's very essential because if you really want to engage with somebody, you can try to learn everything about the other person, but you are not interesting at all if only thing that you can bring is be able to relate to somebody some other person without having any content yourself. You will not be interesting. You will not be valued by the other side. Actually, if I know a lot about Japanese people and I can completely behave like a Japanese person, that wouldn't make me interesting, would it? Not at all. If I can speak perfect Japanese, if I can behave perfect like a Japanese, so what? It's only convenient, but that's it. But if I have an opinion, if I have a background, if I am thinking different, then I will become interesting. Therefore, like Japanese spirits is making you aware of yourself, of your backgrounds, where you come from, making you aware of your culture, even though it's common sense, but you will need to understand that and you need to sell that to your foreign counterpart. And then you will be valued. Say, oh, this is an interesting guy. I want to follow him.
That point I understand. Now is also another issue is how to teach this spirit of Japan for Japanese. This is not easy.
But you already wrote the books, right? You have the materials.
But the Japanese are not interested. Company people, they are not interested to learning.
But do they see that Japanese spirit is actually a way that they can create and become aware of their own identity, and that will give them a great advantage when doing business overseas?
I understand, but how are we going to deliver some kind of message for the Japanese company?
So basically, I think this is really about overseas.
They don't feel this is important.
I think it's very important. Then maybe they worry more about. Okay, so the question is: are you thinking in opportunities or are you thinking in threats? If you're thinking in opportunities, then this is something that they feel I want to do. If you're thinking in threats, is that I cannot fuck up this negotiation. I need to be able to speak English. I need to be able to actually do the practical skills of negotiation, because if I make mistakes, I will be blamed. If I don't make mistakes and I don't get the business, it's okay. It's not good for the company, but I will not be blamed because I did everything right. So people who are thinking in threats, who do not feel comfortable about their basic skills, they don't worry about this. But people who are entrepreneurs, people who really are depending on the results of negotiation.
I have big failure in the past. So I installed internet at the company, but nobody used it. Okay? And then finally, why they success with the project manager thinking about young beautiful woman. 50 women collected all over Japan and assigned those people to general manager to teaching internet. Then finally they success. The same approach.
Brilliant. I like that.
Right? Same approach I'm thinking about. Whenever I'm going to Japanese company to talking about the spirit of Japan, non-Japanese with me. Like you, or like Mary, or like other Matthew, he's speaking out the explanation for the spirit of Japan. And white people, everybody Japanese people, inferiority feeling, they will listen. How's that?
I think you were onto something more promising when you said beautiful young women.
No, beautiful young women for the business is not effective for
No.
But,
I think it's very pathetic.
Okay. Do you know diversity? Diversity. Japanese company, many people like diversity.
Right.
Diversity means who are the target. Do you know that? Diversity.
Women.
And foreigners.
Right.
Women or foreign.
Right.
But woman is, I think, woman, beautiful woman with me and explain for the program. They are not interested. Just foreigners. White, especially white people. Japanese, every Japanese feel inferiority. They listen to the white people. Right? Do you remember? You join with me, go and visit a couple of companies, they respect you.
Really?
Yeah. If only they don't listen to me seriously.
That's strange.
So it means what I want to say. Not content. How to do that?
Kinosuke.
Huh? Shinosuke. Yeah, Shinosuke is that's right. Shinosuke is just he's a very good speaker.
But it is true, actually. I do remember this very clearly. When I was by myself and I tried to sell my services in Japan, impossible. People didn't want to listen to me. When I joined with Yasu, all of a sudden people started to listen to me, right? Because I was connected to a Japanese person, so there was this kind of like trust element. Somebody knows what Japanese business is about, so they don't have to worry too much about, because this guy has Japanese common sense. Well, little did they know about Yasu, but anyway, this guy is Japanese, so he understands Japanese business. But then all of a sudden, the people started to listen to me. But the other way around, Yasu said, well, actually, for me, having you come with me is actually also an opportunity, because all of a sudden many more people are interested in making an appointment with me because there is a foreigner with me, and people are interested in their opinion. They just don't want to take a risk.